After 5 years of being childless by choice, my husband suddenly decided he wanted a child. I resisted in every way possible, but he coaxed and deceived me into going to the hospital for IVF. After dozens of failed egg retrievals, I was on the verge of a silent breakdown. I begged him to let me give up. Xiao Fan, I know the procedure is hard, but the success rate is high. We can cultivate twins at once. If we're lucky, even triplets are possible. I cannot lose to that man. I must have at least more children than he does. His eyes were filled with an intense competitive fire, which burned my heart cold just because he heard the news that his first love was pregnant. He started tormenting me without any regard for my well-being. 10 years ago, he married me. To replace Xiaoling 10 years later, he wants me to have children. To beat the man Xiaoling is with. From beginning to end, I have never been more than a tool. Xiao Fan, just hold on a little longer. Wei Yun had been coaxing me for too long. His patience had run dry. The warning in his eyes told me not to push my luck. I looked down at my slightly flat lower abdomen, feeling as if 1,000 ants were gnawing at my heart. Back then, both Wei Yun and Lu Zhan fell for a girl from a poor background. They fought openly and secretly for Xiaoling, and things became very ugly. The two families even cut off all business ties. In the end, Lu Zhan won and took the beauty home. And Wei Yun, who lost, wanted to keep up the pace. From a pool of potential marriage partners, he chose me, whose family was in decline. He said, "You look the most obedient. I'll pick you." Just like that, we had a lightning marriage, scheduled before theirs. Although Wei Yun didn't love me, marrying him did indeed save the Shin family. For these past 10 years, I have always played the part of the obedient Mrs. Wei, helping him maintain the illusion of a happy marriage. I promised Xiaoling that I wouldn't let another woman bear my child. So, we must remain childless. With a single sentence, he stripped away my reproductive rights. Then Xiaoling got pregnant, and the internet was flooded with blessings. Many people began praising Lu Zhan. Wei Yun got blindingly drunk. Grasping my wrist, he gritted his teeth. How? How can he let Xiaoling bear his child? I won't accept this. Shin Fan, you are going for IVF. For every child born, I will invest in one of your family's projects. 2 children, and I'll invest in 2. In a few words, he turned me into a breeding machine, but he knew exactly where to strike. The Shin family needed the Wei family's money. I touched my flat abdomen, took a deep breath, and thought, baby, mommy needs the Wei family's money. After that, I went upstairs with the ultrasound report on my phone. The hospital sent word, it was twins. Wei Yun's originally gloomy face instantly lit up. This won't end in a miscarriage like last time, will it? Shin Fan, don't make me look like a fool. In his words, there was no sympathy for the pain of my failed IVF treatments, nor any regret for the lost life, only that deadly obsession with winning. It shouldn't. The doctor said the data looks good so far. Both heartbeats and fetal buds are visible. I pointed to the words on the scan. Last time the IVF succeeded, it ended in a chemical pregnancy because there was no heartbeat. This time, I deliberately waited for the heartbeat before telling Wei Yun. Wei Yun was very happy. Right in front of me, he made a call, asking his assistant to set an investment meeting with my brother. I breathed a sigh of relief. Wei Yun smiled and put his arm around my waist. Well, are you happy? From today onwards, you must maintain a good mood every day. It's good for the babies. With that, he tightened his grip on my waist. I forced a smile and nodded. From that day on, nutritional supplements flowed into my hands like water. Whenever there was a prenatal checkup, he was always there. Your husband is so good to you. He comes every time and asks such detailed questions. It's clear he's done his homework. The doctors and guides were full of praise for Wei Yun, calling him a 1 in a million husband. But only I knew he wasn't doing it for me. I've already asked the doctor. All the numbers look excellent. You're over 3 months now. Remember to take your calcium supplements. Wei Yun held me, reminding me of the basics. Before I could speak, at the next corner, his hand let go. Xiaoling, why are you crying? The man who was just showing me affection instantly rushed to Xiaoling's side with lightning speed. Wei Yun looked tense, helplessly wiping away her tears. That version of Wei Yun, I had never seen. This was the first time. It turns out the difference between love and lack thereof is truly obvious. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't sad. Who wouldn't want to marry a man who loves them and dotes on them? But I also knew, from the moment I chose Wei Yun, I was destined never to have true love. I waited in the car for 3 hours. Before seeing Wei Yun return, he sat in the car with a grim expression, fury hidden in his eyes. He didn't speak, and I didn't ask. Later, Xiaoling's calls became more frequent. Sometimes at dawn, sometimes in the middle of the night. Wei Yun would leave the moment he answered the phone. When he returned, he always carried a faint scent of baby powder and sweet perfume. Xiao Fan, you go ahead yourself. I have things to do. I nodded obediently. The things to do were likely for her again. I felt a faint sense of unease, until the day of the 20-week anatomy scan. Wei Yun unexpectedly accompanied me to the checkup again. In the car, Wei Yun didn't even look at me. Shin Fan, abort the children. Those few words sounded like a death warrant from hell. His voice was quiet, yet chilling. Why? I heard my own voice trembling in the cabin, filled with endless horror. Xiaoling is getting a divorce. The child is still small. He can't let go of you having children now. You wouldn't be able to take care of her and her child, would you? The scalding words in my throat could not find their way out. His words were absurd and unreasonable, yet they flowed so smoothly. Those words put together were enough to crush me. I don't agree. Wei Yun shot a glance over, carrying a sharp, cold air. It's not up to you. He pulled me into the doctor's office. Before the doctor could even open the file, Wei Yun spoke. We don't want this child. The doctor was so shocked his pen dropped. His mouth hung open for a long time without a word. From a professional standpoint, the hospital does not recommend terminating the pregnancy at this stage. The babies are 5 months old. Aborting now would cause significant physical damage to the mother. Mr. Wei, is there some sort of difficulty? Wei Yun knit his brows, and without a word, he led me out. If this hospital won't do it, we'll find another one. Shen Fan, this child simply cannot be kept. Looking at Wei Yun's cold expression, I recalled the tenderness he showed Xiaoling that day. My heart felt as if it were being pierced. The babies, no, I will give birth to them. I want them for myself. This was the first time I had ever defied Wei Yun. Wei Yun seemed stunned. He was silent for a while before saying, I don't agree. What if in the future you use my bloodline to inherit my assets? That would be unfair to Xiaoling and her children. My tears finally fell uncontrollably. Wei Yun. The babies are already fully formed. This is murder. Do you realize that? Wei Yun, I'm begging you, let me keep them. Wei Yun opened the car door without a second thought. He didn't even spare me a glance. Shen Fan, this is not up for negotiation. Think about your brother's new projects. The children in my womb seemed to feel my distress. Their trembling movements made my stomach tighten and harden. For several days, Wei Yun didn't come home. I heard from others that he was busy handling Xiaoling's divorce case. I've already arranged for the induction surgery. The text from Wei Yun finally arrived. Looking at the words on the screen, everything became a blur. I never had a choice from the very beginning. From marrying him, to the IVF, to this forced induction. I never had a choice, but I refused to accept this. The fluttering movements in my abdomen gave my normally soft heart a sudden, hard shell. I took a deep breath and made that call in the middle of the night. Mr. Liu, I agree to the partnership. You finally come around. The voice on the other end was still gentle. At the very least, I won't be as inhumane as Wei Yun. I will do everything I promised you. The next day, I saw Xiaoling and her child downstairs. Hello, my name is Xiaoling. After 5 years of marriage to Wei Yun, this was my first time meeting her. She had a gentle, serene look, paired with eyes as soft as water. She was indeed mesmerizing. No wonder Wei Yun and Lu Zhan fought so bitterly over her. Ah Yun told me to come. He said that in the future, you will be responsible for me and my child's daily life. Xiaoling pointed to the luggage behind her. First, help me move these upstairs. Arrange the clothes by season. Also, my bedding is tensile. Be careful when you spread it out. I don't like maids entering my room. So you must handle these things personally. Xiaoling glanced at my bulging stomach. Looks like you're 5 months along, right? Doing these things might be a bit tiring, but Ah Yun said this child won't be staying. So you don't need to worry too much about it. Don't waste your emotions. After saying that, she sashayed upstairs. She walked straight into the bedroom I shared with Wei Yun, behaving as if she were the mistress of the house. The maids behind me were fuming on my behalf, whispering about her being a homewrecker. I said nothing. Resigned, I carried the items upstairs one by one. I still wasn't finished when Wei Yun came home from work. Xiaoling, holding the child, ran excitedly toward him. Ah Yun, you're home. Quick, look at the baby. He learned to lift his head today. Wei Yun spared me a brief glance. Before taking the child from her arms, they were downstairs laughing and playing with the child, while I was alone, moving Xiaoling's belongings. When I finally finished and went down, I saw the cold leftovers on the table, and my eyes reddened. Oh, I forgot to save some for you. These are for the dog. Why don't you just go hungry for today? The baby needs to sleep now. Come up and help me bathe him. Exhaustion left me unable to respond. Wei Yun stood up and handed the child to Xiaoling. What are you waiting for? Go up and help her. Just then, my stomach let out a small growl. Xiaoling giggled, covering her mouth. Wei Yun looked slightly embarrassed. He frowned. I'll have Auntie Zhang make you a bowl of noodles later. Go help her first. A bowl of noodles felt like a grand mercy. Wei Yun seemed to have forgotten the 2 children in my womb entirely. Now, his eyes held only Xiaoling and her child. After all that work, I never saw that bowl of noodles. From my bedroom came the sound of faint panting. Ah Yun, be gentle. The baby hasn't fallen into a deep sleep yet. Through the crack in the door, Wei Yun impatiently embraced her. Xiaoling, you're finally going to be my woman. No one will ever disturb us here. Xiaoling buried her head in Wei Yun's chest. and nodded aggrievedly. Ah Yun, if I'd known, I would have chosen you. Lu Zhan wasn't even a man. I couldn't stand him anymore. By the way, when are you taking Shen Fan for the surgery? I cannot accept the children in her belly. Xiao Ling pushed at Wei Yun. Wei Yun responded helplessly, in a couple of days. Soon, I watched the two of them through the camera, and I sent a clip of the video. Please check this. The reply came quickly, received. I have already arranged the people at the hospital. Once you arrive, the plan will begin immediately. I turned off my phone. A moment later, the door behind me opened. Wei Yun came in, carrying her heavy perfume. Not asleep yet? The surgery is coming up soon. You need to rest well now. Otherwise, your recovery will be slow. And how will you take care of Xiao Ling and the baby? His hand covered my abdomen. Xiao Fan, I know you feel wronged, but you know Xiao Ling has always been my weakness. Only by healing this wound in my heart can I spend the rest of my life with you. I've thought about it. I'll be with you on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and with her on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Sundays will be up to chance. Don't worry, I won't mistreat you. Won't mistreat me? Wei Yun, you are already mistreating me right now. Okay. I didn't argue with him like I did before. Wei Yun liked this. He hugged me tightly from behind. I knew you were always the most obedient. I chose you back then because of how obedient you are. His breathing was heavy behind me. I lay on my side, letting tears wash over my face. 5 years isn't without emotion. But at this moment, the hatred was real. The man who was once my lifesaver was now destroying not just me, but my children as well. But this time, I wouldn't accept my fate. The next morning, I was woken up early by Xiao Ling to make breakfast. She held the child, nagging in my ear. How can you be so clumsy? I really don't know why Wei Yun married you. As Xiao Ling spoke, she moved to grab the spatula from my hand while holding the baby. I reflexively blocked her, and the scalding porridge from the pot splashed out. Ah! Xiao Ling shrieked and pushed me with all her might. My stomach slammed hard against the corner of the cabinet. A searing pain tore through me, making me break into a cold sweat. My abdomen spasmed in excruciating waves. I could only cling to the counter and slowly slide to the floor. What happened? What happened? Wei Yun rushed over in a panic. He went straight to Xiao Ling, not sparing me a single look. It hurts, Ah Yun. It hurts so much. Xiao Ling's weak voice echoed in my ears. Without a second thought, Wei Yun took the child and handed him to the maid. Then he picked up Xiao Ling and walked out the door. Auntie Zhang held the child, hesitantly looking at me lying on the floor in agony. Summoning her courage, she called out. Sir, Madam is. Wei Yun turned his head slightly, glancing at me on the floor. The babies couldn't be kept anyway. Someone will come to take her to the hospital later. They can do the induction while they're at it. Those two cold sentences echoed in the dining room. In that moment, my twisted, pain-racked body felt as if it were injected with a sedative. All feeling vanished. I struggled to crawl and make the call. Save me. I don't know how much time passed, but I heard all sorts of noise around me. I couldn't tell where I was, but for some reason, I felt safe. At that moment, Wei Yun was standing at the entrance of the clinic. He looked at the busy emergency room, and his heart suddenly felt hollow. Honey, hold on. I'll be right outside the delivery room for you. A husband was holding his pregnant wife's hand, comforting her all the way. Wei Yun thought of the body collapsed on the floor, twisted in pain. He seemed to feel a twinge of regret. Just then, his phone rang. It was the bodyguard he had arranged. Before Wei Yun could ask if she had been brought to the hospital, the voice on the other end spoke anxiously. Sir, when we got back to the house, Madam was already gone. Auntie Zhang said someone took her away. Wei Yun knit his brows, his voice dropping. Who? Auntie Zhang said she didn't recognize them, but Madam seemed to know the person. Wei Yun's first thought was my brother, Xinyu. After hanging up, he immediately called the Shen family. Did you pick up Shen Fan? Xinyu was still asleep, and asked confusedly. Isn't Xiao Fan at home? Where could a pregnant woman run to? Wei Yun hung up before he could finish. If the Shins didn't take her, where would she go? Wei Yun's mind was a mess. He turned to run out. At that moment, Xiao Ling, having been treated, came out and called to him. Ah Yun, where are you going? Shen Fan is missing. I have to find her. Xiao Ling grabbed Wei Yun's wrist, pouting aggrievedly. Isn't it better if she's gone? She's such a nuisance at home. She's interfering with our family time. Ah Yun, don't you want me anymore? Xiao Ling's soft body was like a vine, clinging to Wei Yun. But at this moment, what repeatedly flashed in Wei Yun's mind was me and the babies in my womb. He thought he could give up everything for Xiao Ling, but when it actually came to it, Wei Yun found himself panicking. He wasn't as decisive as he thought he was. Wei Yun took a deep breath and pulled his hand away. Lives are at stake. She is carrying my children, after all. Xiao Ling, wait here. I'll call someone to pick you up. Xiao Ling wasn't satisfied and tried to lunge forward, but Wei Yun turned away cleanly. She missed. Watching his retreating back, Xiao Ling bit her lip, her eyes full of hatred. There is nothing I want that I cannot get. Lu Zhan, and Wei Yun too. Wei Yun was uneasy all the way, repeatedly calling my phone. But none of the calls went through. When I woke up, my first instinct was to touch my stomach. The bulge there gave me great peace of mind. You're awake? A deep voice sounded beside me. I turned my head and saw Lu Zhan. Thank you for saving me, but now that I've left the Wei family, I'm afraid I won't be able to help you with what comes next. Lu Zhan raised an eyebrow and shrugged. It doesn't matter. The first video you sent was actually enough. Plus, with you as a witness, they are bound to lose this lawsuit. I had seen that look on Wei Yun's face before. It was a reckless desire to defeat his opponent. But didn't he also love Xiao Ling? To the point of madness? Now, in a divorce lawsuit, he could be so ruthless. I looked at the man in front of me with some trepidation. Wei Yun's calls kept ringing on my phone. I pressed the power button to shut it off in front of Lu Zhan. The people in this hospital are all mine. You can rest easy here. Just wait for the court date. Lu Zhan closed the door as he left. With professional care in the hospital, my body recovered quickly. Lu Zhan would occasionally come by with news. For example, Wei Yun was looking for me. Wei Yun and Xiao Ling seemed to have had a falling out, or that Wei Yun had withdrawn his investment from the Shin family. Withdrawing investment. I should have expected that. Wei Yun would definitely use this tactic to force me out. Lu Zhan comforted me. Once my case with Xiao Ling is over, I will fill the hole in the Shin family's finances. Why did you and Xiao Ling divorce? In the end, I couldn't help but ask that question. How could he give up on someone he once loved so much? Once the lawsuit is over, I'll tell you everything you want to know. Lu Zhan said nothing more. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on the Shin family's affairs. The most important thing for you now is to give birth. Lu Zhan stared intently at my belly. There was an emotion in his eyes that I couldn't quite decipher. Time flew by. At the beginning of the year, I gave birth to Wei Yun's children. They were a pair of adorable twins, a boy and a girl. When Lu Zhan asked what I wanted to name them, I was momentarily stunned. I had thought of many names before, but they all had the surname Wei. I had never considered names with my own surname. What do you think of Shin Jiayue and Shin Jiazhu? Lu Zhan looked at the two infants in the crib. His gaze so tender it could melt anyone. Seeing this expression, I even momentarily hallucinated that he was the father. The case is going to court. Are you ready? Lu Zhan turned his gaze toward me. In his sharp eyes was a look of absolute determination. I nodded. On the day the case went to court, Lu Zhan specially had me brought to the courthouse as a key witness. I was placed in a hidden area. Watching the people file into the courthouse, I spotted Wei Yun and Xiao Ling at a glance. Xiao Ling followed Wei Yun, holding her child. Wei Yun's expression was like ice. He didn't wait for Xiao Ling for a single second. In the courtroom, everything started according to the same pattern as the first trial, until Lu Zhan's side provided new evidence. Your Honor, we have new evidence. The man and woman in this video. I believe everyone here recognizes them. Judging from the content of the video, the plaintiff had already committed adultery. The courtroom erupted into whispers. Sitting in the plaintiff's seat, Xiao Ling's fair face instantly turned beet red. I didn't. This was spliced together. Xiao Ling argued without thinking, but was countered point by the lawyer. Miss Xia, if you'd like, we have the original footage. It's half an hour long. We can send it to you after court. Xiao Ling knit her brows and angrily turned away. Who wants to see that? Wei Yun spoke up unhurriedly to explain. Setting aside the authenticity of the video, it wasn't filmed during the marriage of the plaintiff and defendant. How can it be used as evidence? Lu Zhan sat in the gallery, his sharp gaze fixed on Wei Yun the entire time. Wei Yun showed no stage fright, his eyes firm. For a moment, those present couldn't tell if the lawsuit was between Xiao Ling and Lu Zhan, or Wei Yun and Lu Zhan. Those two really are arch-enemies. They've been competing for everything since they were kids. When they were fighting over Xiao Ling back then, at the charity banquet, they almost flipped the tables. Yeah, jewelry that was only worth 100,000. They jacked the price up to millions. But why did Xiao Ling and Lu Zhan divorce anyway? No idea. The whispers from the gallery made Xiao Ling's expression turn ugly. In truth, even she didn't know why they divorced. After she gave birth, Lu Zhan suddenly told her, let's get a divorce. I'm tired of this. No matter how Xiao Ling tried to beg him, Lu Zhan remained completely unmoved. Later, in desperation, she went crying to Wei Yun. Luckily, Wei Yun still loved her. But now, Wei Yun seemed to love her less too. Evidence has a time limit. But witnesses do not. Your Honor, I have a witness who can prove the plaintiff's adultery. The judge on the high bench spoke with a cold face. I heard the summons. The door opened, and I stood in the center, walking step by step toward the witness stand. The moment Wei Yun saw the witness, his heart suddenly trembled. Xiao Fan? Xiao Ling was stunned. She never imagined that the witness would be me. Ignoring the murmurs and stares around me, I sat down quietly. I am Wei Yun's wife. I discovered their relationship when I was 5 months pregnant. At that time, for the sake of Xiao Ling and her child, my husband wanted me to abort my 5-month-old twins. As soon as these words were spoken, the entire court was in an uproar. After all, forcing one's wife to have an abortion is an act universally condemned. We were married for 5 years. He was the one who said he didn't want children. He only wanted one because Xiao Ling had a child. And he didn't want to fall behind. In those 5 years, he never once forgot Xiao Ling. Their contact never ceased. The sound of my intermittent sobbing filled the courtroom. The murmurs among the crowd were all filled with sympathy for me. Xiao Ling, a woman like that looks so innocent, but she's a pro at messy affairs. You need some serious tricks to enchant 2 men at once. Men, if they can't control themselves, they're just trash. In that case, Lu Zhan is the real victim here. Maybe the child isn't his, and that's why he wants a divorce. Xiao Ling couldn't take it anymore. She stood up and pointed right at me. You're lying. When I was married to Lu Zhan, I never sought out Wei Yun. The child is Lu Zhan's. What nonsense are you all talking about? Xiao Ling screamed hysterically, struggling to prove her innocence. But no one cared. Nothing I said was false. But it wasn't hard evidence either. However, because of that undeniable video, the relationship between Xiao Ling and Wei Yun was confirmed. Xiao Ling's dream of making a fortune from the divorce was shattered. The second court granted the divorce. The child went to Xiao Ling, and assets were divided according to the prenuptial agreement. Xiao Ling got nothing except the child. The hearing ended. Before I could even walk out of the courthouse, Xiao Ling rushed up and slapped me. You bitch. Why did you give false testimony? The sudden force of the slap sent me reeling, and I stumbled back several steps. A firm chest caught me from behind. Careful. It was Lu Zhan. I didn't dare look back. Once steady, I looked at Xiao Ling. I gave false testimony? Xiao Ling, ask yourself. Even if it happened after your lawsuit began, was it not still an affair? Your own marriage failed, and you wanted to destroy others. You're the bitch. Wei Yun stood to the side, saying nothing. He stared at my flat belly and asked, Xiao Fan, did you give birth to the children? At such a tense moment, Wei Yun's concern wasn't the lawsuit. This wasn't like him. There are no children. Gone? Wei Yun's eyes flickered, regret shimmering within them. About the children, I am sorry. I know you collaborated with Lu Zhan to protect yourself. I don't blame you. As long as you're willing to come back to me, I will let bygones be bygones. If you want children, we can have them again. Wei Yun was talking to himself, but Xiao Ling behind him couldn't listen anymore. Ah Yun. Didn't you say you wouldn't have children with her? I only have you left now. Are you going to break your vow and abandon me and the child? Ah Yun. Xiao Ling's tears began to fall in panic. She held the child, trying to win Wei Yun back, but Wei Yun never turned his head. Nor did he pay her any attention. Xiao Ling, who was once the prize of Wei Yun and Lu Zhan, was now a discarded vase no one cared about. Wei Yun, let's get a divorce. Perhaps it was because Lu Zhan was standing behind me that I had the courage to tell Wei Yun I wanted a divorce. As expected, Wei Yun's face darkened. Shen Fan, I don't have much patience. You know that. Who gave you permission to suggest a divorce? Have you forgotten that the Shen family still needs the Wei family? I gave a cold laugh and shook my head. It's truly laughable. You think only the Wei family can save the Shens? If I'm willing. It could be anyone. Wei Yun thinks too highly of himself. I turned to look at Lu Zhan standing behind me. The Lu family, for instance, could become the Shen family's support now. Everyone was shocked by this. Xiao Ling was even more furious, crying out loud. She pointed at Lu Zhan and shouted, Lu Zhan. Is this why you divorced me? You've taken a liking to Wei Yun's woman. Back then, you only chased me. So you could steal me away from Wei Yun. Right? Lu Zhan looked at the sobbing Xiao Ling, gave a bitter smile, and shook his head. Xiao Ling, do you really think? I don't know whose child that is? Hearing this, Xiao Ling panicked. Wei Yun. Did you enjoy your breakup hookup before Xiao Ling got married? Wei Yun was also stunned. What breakup hookup? How did he not know about this? I don't know what you mean. Wei Yun truly didn't know. When Xiao Ling and Lu Zhan got married, he had been drowning his sorrows in alcohol, living every day in a daze. It wasn't until his parents returned from abroad and beat him into his senses. Before Xiao Ling and I got married, she went to find you. You might have been too drunk, but you were still capable of performing. The child in Xiao Ling's belly is yours. She did it so she could marry me, and use the child to tie you down. I, Lu Zhan, may like stealing your things, but I won't play the role of the fool raising your kid. At this point, I finally understood why Lu Zhan was so adamant about the divorce. Aside from the child, his feelings for Xiaoling all stemmed from his desire to compete with Wei Yun. Once that thrill of the chase vanished, his feelings for Xiaoling ceased to exist. Wei Yun turned back in disbelief to confirm with Xiaoling. Xiaoling stammered as she pulled at his wrist, trying to explain. Ah Yun, it's not like that. Let me explain. Oh, by the way, when Xiaoling and I were together back then, she was the one who crawled into my bed behind your back. I don't love taking the initiative as much as you do. She delivered herself to me, and it let me beat you, so I married her. Lu Zhan seemed to think the fire wasn't big enough, so he added more fuel. After saying that, Lu Zhan pulled me away. I didn't recover from those words until I was already sitting in the car. This was too messy. As soon as I returned to the hospital, the Shin family arrived. Are you really divorcing Wei Yun? Do you have any idea? How many of your brother's projects are in the Wei family's hands? Hurry back and make peace with Wei Yun. My mother shouted at me without listening to a word. From her stance, it seemed she wanted to drag me to Wei Yun to beg for forgiveness. Mom. Do you know I almost died at Wei Yun's hands? Mom. Do I only exist for the sake of the Shin family? Must I bleed my last drop for the Shins, even if it kills me? Mom, am I really your biological daughter? Tears began to fall involuntarily. Ever since I can remember, my mother has told me that my marriage must pave the way for the Shin family, that I must bring the greatest benefit to the Shins. Your brother is incompetent, so everything depends on you. So, every decision I made had to be for the Shins. Even though these 5 years have been miserable, I had to swallow the bitterness for the sake of the family. Xiao Fan, Mom didn't mean it that way. Her expression softened. She took my hand and began to talk about her own hardships. How, as a woman, it had been a struggle to raise me and my brother. The difficulty of maintaining the Shin family business. I had heard these words countless times, and I was already numb to them. To put it plainly, she was just using emotional blackmail to make me willingly sacrifice myself for my brother. But now, I'm unwilling. Mom, Wei Yun and I must divorce. If the Shin family falls because of this, then let it fall. I didn't mention Lu Zhan. Regarding Lu Zhan, I've always been suspicious of his timing. His motives. It was all too coincidental. He was like a trap custom made for me. Just then, the sound of a baby crying came from the room. It was too late to stop my mother. She rushed into the inner room, and saw the babies in the crib. Before I could react, she grabbed her bag and rushed out of the hospital. I knew she would definitely go find Wei Yun. As expected, a few minutes later, Wei Yun appeared in the hospital. He pointed at the 2 children and questioned me. So this is what you meant by getting an abortion? You've certainly become bold. What? You really think you can raise these 2 children alone? Wei Yun stood before me, overwhelmingly oppressive. Before I could speak, someone pulled me back with great force. I'll raise them. It was Lu Zhan. My mother was stunned to see Lu Zhan appear. The Wei and Lu families were equal in power. Xiao Fan. Why didn't you say earlier you'd hooked up with the Lu family? I pursed my lips and remained silent. Lu Zhan, have you had enough? These children are mine. You want to steal them too? Wei Yun irritably pushed Lu Zhan aside, trying to step forward to talk to me. But Lu Zhan didn't budge. Wei Yun, are you sure these children are yours? What do you mean by that? Wei Yun's voice was cold enough to make one shiver. Lu Zhan smiled. Sorry. But I used my sperm for your IVF procedure. Wei Yun's smile vanished, his rigid face twitching. Lu Zhan shrugged casually. Xiaoling is carrying your child, and your wife is carrying mine. It's only fair. I stood between the 2 men, trembling all over. So that's why Lu Zhan was so tender when he looked at the children. So that was the reason Lu Zhan sought me out for collaboration. It wasn't because of any advantage I had, nor because I was a key witness. It was because the children in my belly were his. Here's the paternity test. Look for yourself, Wei Yun. You still lost to me. Wei Yun looked at the paternity test report in front of him, his hands shaking so hard he couldn't even hold it. He and Lu Zhan had been competing for half their lives, and in the end, he still lost. If he had chosen to live properly with me back then, perhaps none of this would have happened. At this moment, Wei Yun was full of regret. Xiao Fan, if you're willing, we can still be together. I'll raise the children. I looked at Wei Yun, unable to tell if he was doing this to compete or out of genuine feeling. I'm tired, Wei Yun. Let's get a divorce. In the end, I finally divorced Wei Yun. It was raining heavily on the day of the divorce. Wei Yun pulled my hand, repenting now that Xiaoling was gone. Are you really not going to forgive me? I pulled my hand away. Forget it, Wei Yun. We never had any feelings for each other, so why act so reluctant to part ways? A single cold sentence completely shattered Wei Yun's fantasies. After 5 years of marriage, he and I failed to reach a happy ending. Initially, Wei Yun chased after me unwillingly. Shen Fan, are you really going to be with Lu Zhan? My business is no longer your concern. I stood up and walked to the reception hall, looking at the car parked in the pouring rain. I silently turned and walked toward the back door. Lu Zhan? How could I ever choose him? If I kept the children back then, it was because of some lingering affection for Wei Yun. But Lu Zhan is a total stranger to me. Since they both want the children so much, then let them have them. The moment I stepped on the plane and left, I finally became Shen Fan. A Shen Fan with no family ties, no emotional lingering, and no one behind her. Xiao Fan, the person waving at the airport gate, was my lifelong best friend. Shu Ting, she was the only person I contacted after everything happened. Congratulations on your new life. Shu Ting arranged a job for me, and even thoughtfully found a place for me to stay. I also cut off all contact with everyone back home. I later heard that Xiao Ling gave the child to Wei Yun and remarried some 50-year-old man. Wei Yun and Lu Zhan are still fighting each other. Only now they're competing over who can find me first. I found the news both ironic and pathetic when I heard it. Luckily, I wasn't foolish enough to stay with Lu Zhan. Luckily, I didn't go back to Wei Yun. Just because he tried to make amends. The truth is, they never loved anyone. What they loved was the chase, the competition. Xiao Ling and I were just the casualties of their game, and my life, after leaving them, has truly begun anew. Love yourself, and love freedom.